With the new points narrative when it comes to airdrops kicking in full swing, many people are left disappointed, but in my opinion, not really rightfully so. The thing is, I understand the fact that if people contribute a lot of liquidity and then get peanuts at the end, or do a lot of tasks, so exchange their time for money or potential money, and then they don't get as much, I understand the disappointment, but at the end of the day, nobody is entitled. Nobody has told you that if you do this, you'll get that much. So people are speculating at the end of the day, and speculation is more or less disappointing if we aggregate the outcome overall. All right. So if you just do the simple thing of using a product that you actually need and at the same time take advantage of a potential airdrop that they have come in, then you won't be disappointed because you're gonna enjoy the yield from it and at the same time get something on top. Sorry to interrupt you there, folks. I just want to quickly chime in and give you a quick update on our development. So contracts are still being in development and we have been testing out the product for the past 45 days. I just released a tweet. This is what you are expecting, all right? So naked USDC and naked USDC out, and those are the annualized return over that period of 45 days. That's the range that you see in front of you. Now remember, markets are risky, markets are dynamic, but the goal here is to always optimize our strategy in order to give you the best return on just supplying USDC. That is the end game. Soft launch announcement coming in soon. And that's exactly my approach to Kamino here. All right, because many people were disappointed in their airdrop, but for me, there's much more to it, and I didn't even consider the airdrop at the end of the day. Only on Kamino, you can actually earn the best outcome in terms of potential yield on your Solana. All right, I'm not talking about shady derivatives. I'm not talking about diluting with USDC. I'm talking about simply having that SOL be somewhere and earning you the best yield possible. Right now, if you want to do something like this, you come to a liquid staking protocol like Giro Network. You basically, I guess you know the drill by now if you've been on Ethereum. So you are delegating your SOL tokens and you're getting a receipt token and reward that you can redeem later, called Giro Sol in this example. And you are earning approximately between 7 and 8% APY. It's APY because it's not today that you earn this, but over time, when the year is complete. Now, if you just want to stick with this, so you're earning from Solana inflation, then that's cool, all right? That's it. But the beauty of liquid staking is that you can take that receipt token, Girosol, and then you can use it elsewhere. And here comes Kamino, all right? So for me, there are two places where it's best, where you can get a potential game changer in terms of yield. Now, the borrowing and lending market isn't really that impressive in my opinion. Of course, if you wanna do this, you're gonna be earning more boosted points because season 1 of the Kamino airdrop, KMNO, is done. Now we are entering season 2. So there will be more airdrops of the tokens, so you haven't missed out overall. Now, I guess the Genesis airdrop is usually higher than the potential, runner-up airdrop, but still, like I said, for me, that's not what I'm, focusing on. So lending borrowing earns you boosted points. That's good, but it doesn't earn you as much yield. USDC is all right, but what you can also do is that you can stake your SOL and you can borrow Giro Sol, for example. You see that the difference here is positive, is net positive. So you're earning 3.88, you are borrowing at a 0.27%, borrowing rate. So you're still net positive after that transaction, and then you can take that Girosol elsewhere. And that's one way to do it. But why would you do this if you can actually delegate your SOL and earn 7.62 APY, and still hold that MSOL? Now you take that MSOL, you come to the liquidity part, and then you basically enter one of the pools. So you have to search basically for the Girosol pools, right? So you have to go with this. Let's go to all vaults, and then this is what we're looking at right here, this one. All right, Girosol Sol. The beauty of this is that you can also, stake one of these, and because you have the receipt token Girosol, you can just stake it here, and you can see the APY. Now you have to click on this to understand where this money comes from, and Giro has basically given out their native asset to incentivize the pairing of these two assets. So they are basically, for their favor, pushing more liquidity. And this pool, for example, is capped at 30 mil. Now we have exceeded the amount by a bit. So basically right now you cannot enter this pool, but I would keep an eye on this. If you do the math, you are earning 6% because you delegated your SOL, and on top you're earning that JIRO, so GTO. All right, so that's roughly between 20 and 22% at the end of the day in Solana, and on top of this you earn the GTO token, which you can sell and get more SOL at the end of the day. So it's all good, right? Another place that I would suggest is Multiply. So this is new. This launched after the Genesis airdrop dropped, no pun intended, and you can clearly see the APYs displayed here on entering these three. So this is with the Blaze liquid staking protocol, this is with JIRO, and this is with Marinate Finance. So 3 LSTs overall. And the cool part is that you are borrowing more money to earn more. So remember, the base is 7-ish. To reach 16.13 here, for example, you have to loop 5x. The only risk here, and remember, when I say loop, meaning you are leveraging that yield, so borrowing more money that you don't earn, that you don't own, right? So the only risk in this particular example is the risk of the LST falling below the price of SOL, which is something that could be manipulated if big whales sell on the open market, so on the liquidity pool. But overall, it's not a risk that you should, pray that won't be happening, because at the end of the day, something like this is always there. So risk is always there, but that's potentially only liquidation factor. All right, at the end of the day, there's no price in dollar terms that could affect this. It's just the ratio of these two, so LST versus original SOL. And you do all of this, remember, you're entering JIRO SOL from the JIRO SOL that you took, do the math, and that's potentially somewhere around 25% in terms of APY now. So you boosted your SOL earnings just by leveraging Kamino. So for me, those are the best plays that you can do if you want to stick to your SOL and you don't want to dilute, but you can explore. There's lots of things that you can do on Kamino, and every action that you take earns you points and boosts. So if you go for example in the multiply section, there's a bit of a boost if you do this. If you just enter the pool, there's a tiny boost, but you also earn points depending on the liquidity that you provide at the end of the day. And I showed you the borrowing and lending side where there's boosted points. So you are basically aiming for more tokens but less yield. So there's the trade-off at the end of the day. Now this is the chart of the KMNO token. It's not looking pretty, and this is something that you will see with most recent airdrop related charts. Now, mind you, this isn't listed on any significant centralized exchange yet, so it's still new, even though the market cap is, a bit high in my opinion compared to other recent projects that had their the token generation events, but still. So don't let people who talk about a platform's airdrop disappointment deter you from actually using it. And that's, I think, the lesson here. Go into these DeFi protocols, search what they're about, see what they can offer you besides the potential airdrop. So this is just something that you can get on top. Now I received the Genesis airdrop, I stake those tokens, and that also gives me additional boost. And my personal speculative assumption is that in the future, these staked KMNO tokens will also earn me, additional boosted yield. But that's my assumption. There's always some sort of utility when it comes to these tokens. They're not gonna just be there just for the sake of it. We do have a Telegram group. Consider joining. It is a pretty cool room. You will enjoy yourself. We talk a lot of things about crypto DeFi. All right. Link will be below. And with that, see you on the next one. Have a good one.